This is not about using the mind to project on forward. I already mentioned that don't follow buffaloes. Step back from the stepping back itself. Stepping back from the mind, from any state of mind. Step back from the stepping back itself. Unwinding from the unwinding itself. We call it. We call to purify. Let's not project forward. That is like the desire. Projecting forward. Contacting, impacting samsara and all things. The effect is frequencies, drowsy, being drowsy, and no energy. Step back from the stepping back itself is not about being at the mind. It's not about seeing, knowing. Stepping back from the stepping back itself is not grasping for unwinding or liberation. This turning into purifying samsara through the enlightenment. So recall it. Beware to not following the mode of buffaloes, following the buffaloes, projecting on, focusing in the seeing, in the knowing, without purification. That is becoming samsara, just like the spirits wandering around with the knowing. Step back from the stepping back itself. This is not about the mind, child. It is not about anything or the mind. Step back from the stepping back itself. Not grasping for the non-grasping itself is not about anything and anything. This is turning into purification, helping through unwinding and releasing. Let's make a conclusion well for samsara. The habit of the delusive attachments is always giving significance and meanings. This is the suffering of the habits, the habit of the delusive attachments, of the desire, the habit of samsara. Step back from the stepping back itself has nothing to do with the body or the mind or anything. Unwinding without grasping for unwinding. This is the lotus blossom out without grasping for blossoming state. This is from not grasping for the non-grasping itself. Therefore, the blossoming state doesn't grasp for itself. This is not just about lotus blossoming or budding. Otherwise, it's gonna be just like in the photos. Blossoming lotuses, budding lotuses. This is from discarding the discarding itself, not grasping for the non-grasping itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself. Liberation doesn't grasp for itself. Putting down, never grasp for the putting down. The emptiness, never grasp for the emptiness. It is not about grasping for the emptiness. Liberation doesn't grasp for itself. Unwinding doesn't grasp for itself, never, ever. Therefore, don't pretend to be content. But this is not to stop your contentment. Let's recall the purification of the reminders themselves. Step back from the stepping back itself. Let's conclude through Nibbana. through the enlightenment, through the natural extinction for samsara. This is not just about knowing or seeing. Step back from the stepping back itself. It has nothing to do with knowing or not knowing, seeing or not seeing, having the mind or no mind. If it's about having or not having, it's still becoming samsara. This has nothing to do with having or not having, having the mind or no mind, knowing or not knowing, seeing or not seeing. It's from mind itself. This is the extinction together with seeing and knowing. This is helping through giving no significance in seeing or not seeing. Otherwise, it's going to be just about knowing and seeing. From mind itself, that has nothing to do with mind or not mind. Then it is the extinction and emptiness that is together with seeing and knowing. This is not about the system of mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, and wisdoms. This is not the system. Instead, it dissolves and purifies all systems, purifying and dissolving all ways and methods. This is not what you think it is in the way of the path to the enlightenment. Instead, it is the essence of the enlightenment that is direct. Nibbana is not even Nibbana itself. Enlightenment is not even enlightenment itself. Nibbana has no meaning in itself. That which has nothing to do with Nibbana or not Nibbana, enlightenment or not enlightenment. That which has nothing to do with Nibbana or not Nibbana, enlightenment or not enlightenment. Let's not be obsessed with this. Otherwise, it's going to be samsara. There is no such a thing as ways of enlightenment. Let's not be obsessed with enlightenment until it becomes samsara. Nibbana or enlightenment is not itself. Let's not be obsessed to be deluded with the assumed up of enlightenment in this way or that way. This is like creating something out of nothing. True Nibbana or enlightenment has no forms in whatever ways. It's just the opinions that has formed up itself. That is assumed up by one's own opinions. That which has nothing to do with being enlightened or not. Let's end all burdens about going to be enlightened or not. If you want to be enlightened, ask the enlightenment if it does want you. Ask Nibbana first if it does want you. There is just a delusion that is overlaying until you are assuming the enlightenment by yourself being deluded to become, to be, to obtain, and that is becoming samsara by one's own opinions. Did you ask the enlightenment or nibbana if it wants you? That is called samutai, the cause of suffering and the suffering in itself by the grasping. Listen again. Everything is from not grasping for the non-grasping itself. It has nothing to do with grasping or not grasping, taking or not taking. Everything is from not attached to the non-attachment itself. This has nothing to do with attachment or non-attachment. Listen again. That which has nothing to do with attachment or non-attachment. Let's not aim for liberation, for releasing, grasping for liberation and getting over. Every Buddha era is about giving ending, not about wanting anyone to be arahants or noble ones, to be angels, or to be this and that. Every Buddha era is about giving ending, all about the delusion, to be, to become, to attach, giving ending to all about misunderstanding, misleading. Let's not be obsessed with understanding this and that in the mind. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Let's not be obsessed to go in and out of the mind like this and that. Let's not be obsessed with understanding or not understanding, not involved even within the non-involvement itself. Ending, giving ending. This is not to teach anyone to understand or not understand anything. Giving ending in every Buddha era is just about giving ending. This is not to encourage to become any realm of existence in whatever ways. Otherwise, just about assume up on one's own ideas to become in this dimension. This is not encouraging anyone to become the beings. It's not about to make the beings to become beings. Let's ending the beingness to help ending beingness. Help ending. Helping through ending. Listen well. This is not to teach anyone to become anyone or anything. Not even to become arahants or enlightened ones. Even the arahants are not the arahants. There is just the opinions that creating, making up arahants like this, like that, thinking that the arahants are like this and like that. The arahants has no meaning as the arahants themselves.